Welcome to Pitch It To Me podcast, a show about the subjective past, present, and potential future of Flesh and Blood design. Today's episode will be about the news from the 6-year anniversary stream and the reveal of the Silver Age format. You can find us across all socials, such as Blue Sky and Instagram, at Pitch It To Me podcast.
I'm Joel.
I'm Fuzzy.
And I'm Clark. In Flesh and Blood news, before we get to like the news, hey, does everyone just hate LL?
Yeah.
This feels like such a non sequitur. It's something we were talking about in our Discord for sure. And there's all this hype around a new, like, more casual format that I guess it kind of makes sense to reflect on the Living Legend format, especially since it's going to be one of the main competitive formats for the next future. I would assume LSS is going to run this for more than just one Pro Tour and Worlds, but I guess it depends on feedback.
And right now, the feedback is really, really poor around Living Legend.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the Carnival Games format.
I mean, it has been, right? Like, what are we even talking about? No one's liked LL since its inception. It's a joke.
I mean, people do like LL. I had a really great conversation with Anthony Pham, who is the manager at Kingslayer Games in Fountain Valley, as well as one of the members of the AG Pro team. He's a really big advocate for Living Legend. They regularly do Living Legend armories over there that they get good attendance for, that people seem to enjoy. Our good buddy Luke, my nemesis at the AGE, who knocked me out in our third game. Joke. If it actually happens, it'll be hilarious that I'm calling this so early, but joke. He ended up winning a PQ for Living Legend, right? Like, people are playing Living Legend and enjoying it around us, but that definitely isn't seemingly the widespread sentiment. A lot of pro players are talking about how solved the format is already, how boring it seems to be. There's not really a lot of events, so there's not a lot of data going into LSS for it. Like, there's some serious problems with it right now.
Well, yeah, like, number one, that PQ was like, I think 16 people. And two, I think the reason why people like to play it is because they play the Broken Heroes in that format. Like, it's only Broken Heroes. Like, those are the only people who are going to enjoy it. And there's no reason for somebody like me who only plays Zen to play against fucking Briar with all the new Lightning cards and Runeblade cards, or Viscerai with his Sonata combo, or Dromai. Like, there's no reason for me to go in there. Like, it would take at least 5 more years to become like a real format, just because you want it to be you want it to be the vintage or the legacy of Magic the Gathering. You don't want it to be CC+.
So you think they just pulled the trigger too early?
Yeah, I think you want to set the precedent early that there's going to be a format for people that have their hero LL in a competitive environment, but having it be an official competitive format is a mistake this early.
I do think that this is going to be a really sideways take, almost off topic, but we get to play in like pseudo Living Legend formats when we do our Crucible leagues, and that's been really fun.
Yeah.
Playing with like really high power cards and synergies we don't normally get to play, even classic ones that we could play in Living Legend if we really wanted to.
That's true. But
it's fun playing it in our like casual league, and I enjoy those. So if that's what Living Legend is really like, I could see people enjoying it.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't played a single game of Living Legend ever.
What I'm hearing is LSS should hire Fuzzy to make a Living Legend Crucible, so that every competitive season, it's a Crucible event.
I will say one of the criticisms that I've heard of the LL format is that they have banned it too much, specifically in one direction.
Right.
That they are taking away all these control tools that could conceivably tamp down some of these hyper aggro decks that, Joel, you're saying are too debilitative for people getting into the format, and open up the field a little bit more to like let a Zen get in there, or, you know, because Zen's still an incredibly powerful deck. You still have Bonds and Stubby Hammers. Like, we're talking as if that deck isn't cracked as fuck.
Yeah.
But it's the like, yeah, but it's not that cracked.
Right.
And like maybe just a little bit more format, maybe a little bit more of an even spread of bans, or perhaps just removing the bans and restrictions that are in place to really open up the format and just let everyone fuck around with full power guns.
Yeah.
I'm definitely interested to see how the community takes to it over time as we get more competitive spotlight on it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I don't know. I'd hate to see another Worlds sort of get marred by this controversy. But at the same time, I think there's so many different ways that it can go poorly that LSS can't imagine. So,
Absolutely.
who knows?
So for today's episode, we're talking about all the announcements that LSS just made on their 6th birthday live stream, especially including Silver Age. The new format to rule the nation, the world.
Yeah, if we want to talk about players getting engaged for a non-CC format, it's Silver Age.
Absolutely.
Our Discord won't shut up about it, and what I've mostly seen on Twitter and Blue Sky is that people won't shut up about it there either.
Yeah. And as a fun little game, we're each going to take a shot every time we say Project Blue instead of Silver Age, which is really just like however many times Joel can say Project Blue before he gets through his thick head that it's Silver Age.
I mean, the name change on us was a little crazy. Project Blue is at least tied to the rarity of the card. It's a little blue dot.
And it's fucking cool.
Yeah.
I kind of like Silver Age.
It's kind of a cool, catchy name.
I also like the tagline of Sage. Sage is a cool little tagline.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the 6th anniversary stream happened. We are getting around to it a week plus late just because of how our production cycle works out. But hopefully there's still a lot of excitement about the things that they talked about, and we can dig into some of them.
And we want to know, what are you going to be playing for Silver Age? What's the first deck that you're going to sleeve up, maybe bring to an armory, play with on your kitchen table? What are you most excited for in Silver Age?
And if you're not going to, why? Come on, what's wrong with you?
Also, bonus points if it doesn't include Decimator Great Axe. Sorry, Joducken.
Everyone just being like, fatigue warrior, fatigue warrior, fatigue warrior. Well, let's get right into it with Red Pitch. Now, we are going to have the one person here who is the most dedicated to non-CC formats take over this pitch. Joel.
Oh. That's me, the non-CC guy. So for Red Pitch, I'm going to be talking about the hard facts of the Silver Age of Flesh and Blood. I was at a PQ when all this stuff, or when all the streams were going on, so I know very little about this besides what's banned and what's playable, whatnot.
Oh, you mean they weren't all popping off the PQ,
Oh, we did, but we're going to talk about what we were popping off about later on. But first, I want to talk about the deck size, which I think is kind of an interesting change, and that is that the deck size is now 55 cards instead of 52 cards from its predecessor, Blitz.
Yeah, this is one of those sneaky little changes that they didn't really put a lot of emphasis on in the live stream, but is probably the biggest change. Well, I mean, No Majestics is a pretty big fucking change, but this feels like a big change.
No, every card you have in your sideboard is a huge adjustment you could be making to your deck, right? With a 40 card deck, you change out 4 cards, and that's 10% of your deck, where you'd have to do 6 cards to do the same thing in Classic Constructed. You're going to see those sideboard cards way more often in a game of 40 card Flesh and Blood.
And this is also, I think, well, I don't know if it's a direct correlation, but I do remember Dice Commando making quite a few videos talking about how Blitz or Commoner can be improved. And one of those criticisms was increasing the amount of sideboard space you have, because that lower life total is so impactful. And like you said, Fuzzy, you will see those cards more often. So I really like this change. I think it's going to open up deck builds a lot more and lend itself to be more than just fatigue versus aggro. Overall, I think it's a really solid change.
Yeah, I think this is going to make a really big difference, especially on those decks that you just need a card to deal with.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe not the Syndras, because Flick Knives isn't going to be a thing in this format because of no legendaries, but Arcane. Now everyone can far more reliably have Arcane 3 in their inventory and still feel like they're able to deal with the rest of the field.
Yeah.
Or maybe they use these 3 spots for Arcane Polarity.
Yeah, Arcane Polarity, or maybe some poppers, because Illusionist is still jumping around.
Yeah, like some of those random generic poppers. Maybe they use it for D-reacts for like a Fang. I've heard Fang is very, very strong in Silver Age.
Yeah, and I do like how they really limited the amount of D-reacts that you can run in this format. They got rid of Fate Foreseen and Sink Below, which is like such a good change. And they even banned a few of the in-class D-reacts as well. So you really got to look for the more niche D-reacts, and I think that requires a bit more space so that they're not clunking up your main board in a certain way. So yeah, I'm a really big fan of reducing the amount of D-reacts and hopefully reducing the chances that people playing Fatigue with all this extra deck space.
I can't imagine like really playing Fatigue without having those suite of like cards that block for 4. Like that's one of the biggest things that Sink Below and Fate Foreseen was doing, you know, just having cards that block for 4. Although I guess like Test of Strength is still in the format.
Test of Strength is still in the format, as is Horizon's Edge, which is a 4-block generic block card that also allows you to look at the top of your deck.
So I guess there are ways to get that kind of value.
But at least this way, they reduce the chances of that defensive overlap by not allowing D-reacts from the arsenal, which is cool.
Yeah, and I think that was a really important change because there's no Majestics. Right now, this is the like very clear and obvious change going from formats like Blitz to Silver Age or Classic Constructed to Silver Age.
Right.
So I found this such a fascinating decision because those cards were printed at common in the first 2 sets of the game. Very obviously, it was intended from the base structure of Flesh and Blood that Sink Below and Fate Foreseen would be a necessary game piece to play with. But here, from day 1, frame 1, they were banned. And that's fascinating to me. Like, I think it has to do with the fact that without Majestics, there's less aggressive power. And with less aggressive power, you can't really push the regular, 16 damage, 18 damage turns to really make sure you're making sure that you're moving towards an end game. Instead, you're sort of stuck trading 10 or 12 damage. Like, if you can deal 12 damage with a 4-card hand in Silver Age, I think you're feeling really good about yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just to rephrase what you're saying, a lot of the best aggro pieces are naturally out of the format. When we talk about big, powerful Majestics, they're usually cards. The most notable ones are usually overrunning your opponent. There's not a lot of like big defensive Majestics that are like the boogeymans of Classic Constructed, that are defining Classic Constructed. The cards that define defensive tools in Classic Constructed are Sink Below, Fate Foreseen, Shelter from the Storm. So with those cards being out, it balances the field.
Yeah, another thing I really thought was interesting about No Majestics is I think it makes it a little bit harder for like them to incorporate First Strike decks if they ever want to continue that product or make new ones to use them in Silver Age.
Yeah, because the Aurora First Strike deck is legal in Silver Age.
Oh, yeah?
It doesn't have any Majestics in it. But the Terra one isn't because it has Thrive.
Interesting.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize there was no Majestics in that one.
Yeah, no Majestics in the Aurora First Strike deck. And I will say I really like you drawing the comparison on the First Strike deck, because what was the thing that everyone liked the most about the First Strike decks? They actually felt good and powerful and nice to play.
Yeah.
In comparison to like early, like the Learn to Play decks, or even like the early Blitz product cards. Like ultimately, Silver Age is replacing the player base that those products were targeting. It's those new players who aren't spending a ton of money, right? And so you need to give them cohesive game plans that are interesting and powerful in a wide range of heroes. And that's really what opening up the rares does, right? The reason why I think a lot of new players don't actually get into the game through Commoner, even though it's cheap and it's affordable and it's super approachable, but not every hero is really playable in it. And in fact, I'd argue most heroes aren't really playable in Commoner in a real way.
Oh, yeah. Rares are such an important glue piece for decks.
For sure.
And by giving the rares, now you've made them a lot more playable. You give them a lot of the thematic consistency and a lot of the interesting thematic depth, but you still hold back enough, I think. And that is I think that makes for a much healthier, interesting format that is compelling for people to think about making decks for. And we've seen that. I've made 4 Silver Age decks already. I need to prepare for a CC tournament on Saturday. And I'm like, but what about Hellhammer Levia? Is that playable in Silver Age?
Yeah, it was so funny reading the messages today and how everyone was like, I'm not doing any work today. I'm just working on my Silver Age deck list.
The format has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Yeah, and reflecting back on previous conversations we've had about like the price of the game increasing and like the need for reprints, I think this is like the perfect answer for people to get the competitive feel of like Commoner and Blitz, but not having like to have that pipeline of, I eventually have to get CNC, I eventually have to get E-Strike or Tunic or whatever.
I think the most important thing that Silver Age does for the new player pipeline is remove the necessity of buying a legendary equipment piece. Like, I think that was, I remember when I first started playing Blitz, and I was trying to figure out which hero do I play in Blitz, and I'm like, well, I have to play Fi because Fi actually has cheap equipment.
Right.
Like, yes, I could build a fairly cheap deck for any of the heroes that I was interested in, but I had to get the legendary equipment to play those decks. With Fi, it was like, yeah, your best in slot is Mask of the Pouncing Lynx, and that's $15. And I was like, thank God. Stubby Hammers, 20 cents. Ugh! And then they banned both of those, and I stopped playing Fi.
Honestly valid. You don't really have to worry about that in Silver Age. All of it's already pre-banned. It's so nice that they get to start a new format with all of the lessons they've learned in previous sets, especially with Blitz and with CC as well. Like I think it's a refreshing change.
Yeah, on the topic of budget, I think it's really revolutionary that Flesh and Blood is pushing Silver Age to kind of be its like number 2 or maybe number 3 format other than Classic Constructed. And it's a budget format. It is literally just chaff. Like, it's not going to be a format that's driving the economy of the game in a way that CC has to be or that Living Legend will be, So that's honestly a brave choice by a company that sells trading cards.
Yeah. No, you're very, very right about that, Fuzzy. I mean, one could argue that it will have an impact. It's funny because one of the things that I'll see in a lot of these like market watch videos, I don't watch a lot of it because I'm not very interested in secondary TCG markets. But I will say that whenever one comes across, they're always like, pick up this card. It has had a 15% increase in price. They're like, this is huge. And I'm like, oh, okay. If these commons start to spike, if these rares start to spike, right? If that gets to be big competitively and the demand really goes up for these cards, I think especially old chaff that hasn't gotten reprinted, you could easily see spiking to $1. Now, if it's like, okay, Joel, I understand that you want to play Ira in Silver Age, but you're going to have to spend $2 for this playset. It's like, yeah, no problem. Who gives a shit?
I was going to say pass, but
that's like a 500% increase. Oh my God, 1,000% increase. The card was 10 cents, now it's $1?
Yeah, the people who are speccing on Blade Beckoner Arms and has like 10,000 copies is so up right now.
Yeah.
But like cold foil commons, like getting worth something, that could be cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. I have so many just sitting in my binder.
I'm hooking the homies up, dude.
Yeah.
I have so much.
But it would still be nice to see, like, even if we're saying, like, what, like, oh, could it get scary? I think the worst we'd still see is, like, a yellow shred situation where it gets to be, like, $3.
Yeah.
And, like, maybe that would be a problem, but now LSS would have no issue reprinting that.
And I also feel like they've been doing a really good job of reprinting staples for limited environments anyways. Like we've seen like Scar for a Scar be reprinted and other generics like
Life for Life.
Life for Life, Nimbleism is another one, like the whole
Nimble Strike, yeah.
Nimble Strike, exactly. So I think there's like a lot of really good cards that will carry the weight in Silver Age. So I'm really excited to see how they do it. Before we move on to the next pitch, I just have one question for you guys because a lot of hype is surrounding Silver Age. Everyone's excited about the new format. They haven't really introduced new formats in Flesh and Blood since probably Living Legend. Do you guys think it has the opportunity to stick around as a competitive format, or is it going to flop in about a month when people are going back to complaining about Earth and CC or Gravy Bones or
And
whatever?
Draw My Dragons.
Yeah, exactly.
I think a lot of people would say that this format's going to be around for a while and it's going to be fun for a long time. And I agree with those people. This might be a little bit too deep of a take for this question, but I think it's interesting that you can't use expansion slot cards. So the only way that we get support in Silver Age is from commons and rares. So that's generics and whatever heroes have decided to have support that set. The systems that LSS has in place to revitalize and pump more energy into formats is the expansion slot, unless your hero or class is being targeted by the main set. So that's one little caveat I want to point out, that they have to change some structure about how they print support in order for Silver Age to see the same constant revamping and revitalizing that CC has.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Actually, I didn't think about that.
But again, I think it's great and it will be great for a long time. But as far as like constant reinvention, it has that one thing going against it.
Yeah.
I think the hype is definitely higher than average. And I think you see it in how people are talking about their brewing. I think everyone is looking at every hero being like, what's this hero look like in Silver? And what's this hero look like in Silver Age? And they gonna learn. They gonna learn. I mean, like every format, they gonna learn. Every single new player comes into the game and they're like, oh, I want to play Fang. And it's like, you're gonna learn.
Yeah.
And you'll learn that that hero has play, but you'll also learn that that hero does not win in the same way.
Yeah.
If they want this to be a replacement for Blitz, where it's doing battle hardens, where it's doing callings, if they want it to maybe even like shore up issues with how Living Legend is being received, they want this to be like a secondary format at a Pro Tour or a Worlds. I don't know. I think people are going to get it into it competitively, and it's going to lose a little bit of that magic that I think the format has had so far. And I'm not sure if the community is quite ready for that.
Yeah, I actually agree with you a lot, Clark. I think this is going to be, number one, and a massive push for a lot of LGSs across the nation to grow their scene with these extremely cheap precons and be able to host like more learn to play events or these Silver Age armories or whatever the case may be. And it's also a good way for entrenched players to take a break from CC and just crack open a couple of decks and play with those. But I am worried about the power scaling of the game. And I was just thinking, I think it'd be kind of cool if they incorporated super rares, because that's the only rarity we haven't talked about yet. And I think that's something that a lot of people are resonating with a lot in Super Slam. So maybe that's a good way to inject power. But yeah, really, I mean, ultimately, like every format that is competitive, people are going to quote unquote game the system and play the most efficient heroes. So like it's going to turn sour for people who play competitively, but I think as a casual format and an introduction to the game, it's gonna stay for a while.
Yeah, if I could just double down on one more point that you said, Joel, just what you said about it being so healthy for the scene of locals, I think it cannot be understated.
Yeah.
I think it's a great way to get players playing quickly and having a great time playing some good Flesh and Blood. So I think it's a really good change for local scenes.
Absolutely. Yeah. $20, super small ask for people to try out a really good card game.
This is a good response to one of, I think, the big criticisms of Flesh and Blood, which is the difficulty in getting into it monetarily.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But that's all I had to say about the hard facts of Silver Age and what it could look like in the future and sort of our first impressions. But I think there's some stuff going down with the organized play system. And I'm going to pass it off to Clark to talk about it.
So for Yellow Pitch, I want to talk about how the OP system is changing and the things that they talked about that regard during the 6-year anniversary stream. Or more specifically, the things they didn't talk about. Because they spent a lot of times doing the whole, let's only talk about the positive news. Silver Age, look at Silver Age. Isn't Silver Age so cool? Let's do a segment with a bunch of giveaways talking about the Silver Age ban list. Yay, everyone's having fun with Silver Age. Yippee! And meanwhile, I have my one friend in the corner like, what's going on with Blitz? Hey, can you tell me what's happening to Blitz? Because they're like, skirmish, Blitz is going out with a bang. And it's like, what does that mean?
It's getting shot.
Yeah, it's taken out behind the fucking barn, told to look at the flowers.
Yeah, the bang is from the gun behind the barn.
Yeah, I feel like Blitz is just going to be that format that gets one event at like world side events, you know?
Yeah. Which is entirely possible. I mean, obviously, I think LSS has the data to make this decision, right? And it hurts for players. For the players who played and loved Blitz, it hurts. I have a lot of nostalgia around Blitz, and every single time I get around to a skirmish season, and I actually feel like, because admittedly, I use skirmish season as my time to like stop caring about Flesh and Blood competitively, because like it's not CC and everyone around me plays CC, and like we don't even do Blitz armories when skirmish rolls around. But again, that's more community oriented. Like if we were a little bit more Blitz focused, I'd be loving Blitz.
Yeah.
Because we met playing Blitz.
Yeah.
Our Fab journey started in Blitz. So like...
Do you remember when our armories used to end at 9?
Bro, no.
And it was only like 10 minutes away from our house.
Oh my God. Yeah. Those are the days.
Yeah. And I just feel like I will miss that element. There is something very charming about Blitz. I think some people are like, oh, it's all just one turn kill format. And no, it's not.
Especially now. It's like the best it's ever been.
It's so wide. It's so open. You can bring so many different decks. Blaze is a little bit of a terror. Sure. KO's a little bit. KO's probably going to be insane this skirmish
With Buckwild?
season. Oh, yeah.
Pause.
Crazy. But like, it definitely wasn't bad.
I liked how often heroes were rotating in that last in that last year.
Not to mention, it was like a whole part of their first like 2 to 3 years of development where they'd be releasing like young only heroes for Blitz.
Yeah.
People argued that Blitz kept the game alive during COVID. So like, it is so odd that we're losing Blitz with so little conversation as to why.
Yeah, I think that's indicative of how little the play rate is of Blitz right now. I think we'll be going local skirmishes, and there'll be like 6 players at a skirmish in SoCal, you know, and I think just overall, like people aren't playing the format. So it didn't really come to that much of a surprise to me that they were like sunsetting the format. A little bit surprised, sure, and I share all the same nostalgia that you do, Clark. It is a little bit sad to see. But I think if this format can be a lot healthier than Blitz and offer a lot of the same casual nature where it's easier to build a list for Silver Age than it is to build an entire classic constructed deck, I think it's going to be really good for the game.
Yeah. And ultimately, I do hope that this is a good thing, because where was Blitz existing? Blitz never really got callings. They got battle hardens and they got skirmishes. They were the dominant skirmish format. But ultimately, it never really hit that tier 3 status, at least not in recent memory. It's never really gone to that calling level.
Yeah.
And I think Silver Age is a format that can fill that space very, very well. We've been talking, I talk a lot at least, about how much I want there to be a step between that level 1 and that level 2, somewhere between the skirmishes and the PQs and the RTNs, and then the battle hardened. Something that gives you a reason to travel and compete, but is still fairly low stakes and doesn't feel like there's this incredible pressure on you to perform.
Yeah.
I found that in the AGE with Classic Constructed and not having to like get top 8 and win every single time.
Right.
But I think players could find it in Silver Age, where yes, you're investing a lot in traveling and going and playing, but the decks are cheap. The time investment is fairly low, right? You don't need to do a ton of testing on your deck. And like which of these generic Majestics and what the meta is going to be like. You can take your Silver Age deck and just go jam some games at the Battle Hardened. And I think that's what LSS actually kind of wants from those events.
Yeah.
I don't think they want them to be super high stakes, you know? But this is the first time that I've ever heard of a budget format being such a large part of organized play. Have you ever heard in any other TCG of a budget format, like a chaff format like this, being a big part of organized play?
It's radical.
In all my time in Magic, Digimon, or any other fucking game I've looked at, I don't think I've ever heard of a commoner like calling or anything like that, or the equivalent.
Yeah. So, do we think that's going to go well? Like, is there a reason why other games haven't done this?
Yeah, I mentioned it a little bit before in Red Pitch, but I think there's a monetary incentive for a trading card company to want people to want to buy rare cards in order to play. I think in a lot of games, we've seen a push towards buying premium alternate art versions of cards rather than buying game pieces. I think I've heard One Piece does that really well, where you can buy a meta. This is heard from one person, but you can buy a meta One Piece deck for very cheap, but you can spend hundreds of dollars on alternate arts. And so like the collectors get what they want, the players get what they want at a reasonable price, and meeting that balance. I think Flesh and Blood might be taking that to the next logical step, where the format itself is very approachable at like all competitive levels.
I think that no company in history has done organized play the way Flesh and Blood has. I think they've been a good stepping point for Flesh and Blood to learn from those mistakes, but I think they are pioneers in a lot of different ways. And the fact that we've had like at least one recorded like battle hardened for commoner, and other like obviously like Living Legend is the format for Worlds, and it's the first they've ever done it. But how many times do you see a game company experimenting this often and in such large scale? I think in general, there's not a lot for them to look back on. So they're sort of like breaking new ground, like saying, hey, we understand that price is an issue. We're going to give you an option to compete at an affordable level.
And with so radical a step towards the future, it makes sense that they really wanted to have some large scale testing for this format, even as being as secretive as it was. I remember kind of like being weirded out by the like
How low key Project Blue was?
yeah, like the half measure marketing where they just like say, hey, there's going to be an event in New Zealand with this weird new format that's like endorsed by LSS under this like LSS Labs like moniker, and like, is it LSS or not?
Auxiliary company.
Yeah.
But it's called LSS Labs. Like, what do you mean auxiliary company?
Like, what
Your name's on the company.
Yeah. So it's like, what the heck is going on? But it's because LSS wants to, now we see that LSS just wants to have, like, when they're making it official, they're making it official. Right. And until they're sure, until that announcement comes up, they're going to like tease the hype. And that way it can finally be released.
Honestly, which I get, because people on the internet will not get it.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know when we first saw Project Blue teased, it was like, oh, this is to replace Commoner, right? Even though like we all kind of knew there were problems with Commoner and there were problems with Blitz, this is so genius of LSS to actually combine the hype from both of these sub-communities into one, to consolidate the player base into one major young hero format. Unfortunately, there's a couple of heroes left behind because there are some young heroes that are still not legal in Silver Age.
Yeah, they were Majestic rarity only, or even rely on Majestics as a core mechanic of their gameplay. Specifically thinking of New Prism.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Figments are Majestics, like literally unplayable.
Yeah. But I think this was a big surprise that they're actually replacing Blitz as well to get sucked up into this new Silver Age of Flesh and Blood. And I think people wanted a new Blitz, kind of like they kind of wanted a new replacement for Commoner. Like, there's just some really inherent problems with the format. You're going to play super strong Majestics and your enemy starts at 20 life. It's going to get really, not derivative. It's going to get
swingy.
Yeah, sure. It's going to be really swingy. Devolved? Is that what I'm trying to...
Because, again, like we said...
Degenerate. Blitz, that was the word I was wanting.
But like we said, Blitz wasn't actually there. At least right now, here at the end of its lifespan. It's not there. I'm also so happy that you brought up Commoner, Fuzzy, because I don't see why someone would play Commoner with Silver Age right there.
Oh, nowadays?
No,
yeah. No.
Unless like it's the gold foil event. So it's like, well, guess I'll go play commoner.
And I'm really curious to see if they're going to maintain that tradition of having a gold foil commoner event at these big events. I don't see why they would, you know?
Mm-hmm.
There's a different, better budget format.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so odd. We've lost 2 formats while getting this one. And I feel like that's putting a lot of pressure on Silver Age to be a good format, especially in their OP system, right? In the organized play system, it's replacing the primary format. And like we said, there's already a lot of tension about the LL format right now. There's a real world where if Silver Age crashes and burns and Living Legend crashes and burns, and they've already made the announcement that Blitz is not going to have another skirmish season, what the hell do they do come summer 2026?
Yeah, yeah. What do you do?
Like, if no one wants to play these formats because there's issues with them, like, LSS has kind of backed themselves into this needs to succeed.
There's a lot of eggs in that basket, for sure.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think for that to happen, it would have to be also indicative of how good of a format Classic Constructed is. Not entirely, but I think the core format of Flesh and Blood has been so strong. It's done Flesh and Blood so well, maintaining that competitive integrity and getting people like hyped to grind for tournaments. I think that's part of what makes all these alternate formats sometimes harder to get into, is because Flesh and Blood brings in a certain type of player, and you can't really get that experience in any other way than Classic Constructed.
That's very, very true. Ultimately, I think they are also banking on this, pulling in a type of player that doesn't go to events.
Absolutely.
On newer players,
Yeah.
on more casual players. And I think they're expecting that to help carry it. Also, to back it up a little bit, I am a pessimistic person. I try not to be, but I think that last little section definitely gave you some indication that I see how things can go wrong. Ultimately, the real way you should be approaching this is let's see the data first.
Yeah.
And we're going to see that data over the battle hardens that we have scheduled throughout the rest of this year. There's at least 3 battle hardens. I don't remember where they are, but 3 battle hardens have been scheduled for Silver Age, where I really think LSS is going to cut their teeth on this format. And we're going to see how they respond to the community's response, right? It's the first time that a conversation is really going to occur between company and audience.
That's true. It's going to be exciting to see like how people innovate from what was successful in Project Blue and what people like playing in CC.
Now, the last thing I want to talk about in this pitch has to do with changes to the system. So this isn't necessarily organized play, but in the dev talk, James and Brian said that the upcoming sets will be designed with Silver Age in mind. What does that mean?
I think it might mean flashier rares.
Ooh.
The rares are going to be fucking sweet.
Bro, they print more Malefics? How have I not said, I just want every set to have their own Malefic, or every class to have their own Malefic?
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, I think the best way to improve classes is not through the Majestics. It's through really serviceable rares that like really change the way you want to play and what you can block with.
I think I brought it up a little bit before, but maybe seeing more ways to print support for this format outside of the main set, like the expansion slot, you know? Like, will we see rares in the expansion slot?
One thing that they have said is that there's going to be a rare equipment slot in the next set.
Okay.
The code title for it, you know how everything has the 3 letters?
PEN.
PEN, pen.
Yeah.
And so in pen, there's going to be a rare equipment slot. And I have been saying, as I've brewed Silver Age, some heroes just have Garbo equipment suites.
Yeah.
And it just feels like shit. And it's like, come on, I don't want to be running 3 Blade Beckoners. I like Blade Beckoner as a tool, not like my suite. I've even played heroes where I'm like, wow, the right answer really is just 4 Blade Beckoners. And that's lame. That's lame as fuck, dude.
But on the other hand, thank God for fucking Blade Beckoner.
It would-
All right.
Honestly,
Yeah, Clark, how would you have felt if you're like, wow, the right answer
Iron
for this hero? 4
Iron
Rod.
Hide.
1 Iron Rod and 3 Iron Hide, right? Like,
let's just say LSS is going to show me a bang behind the barn. No.
That's fucking crazy. That's staying in.
But how else do we think they're going to be designing with Silver Age in mind? I do have one big idea.
Oh.
So this was inspired by someone in our Discord. I have forgotten their username, and I am very sorry,
That's
but it is
fucking
one of
crazy.
the 10 people that commented in the 1,000 messages that was in there today.
there was a lot of hype, and we farming it for content, baby.
It was like Capomello or Whippy or Saliver or maybe Garrett. Like it's one of the 8 people who are always chatting in there. I love them. I love all you guys. But someone had said like Silver Age Limited. And I'm like, what the hell does that even mean? Silver Age Limited. Limited's already Silver Age. No, it's not. You can draft Majestics. Wait, maybe they could move Majestics, all Majestics, to the expansion slot.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't love this idea only because I don't think making a draft format with only rares and commons actually adds that much to the draft format or the larger Fab scene as a whole.
I would legitimately play limited if that was a change.
I guess some people just hate those Majestics. That's
Bro,
true.
why the fuck am I playing against Moraga? I have yellow Pouncing Key. Get the fuck out of here.
Or Bully Tactics.
Or Bully Tactics, right? Yeah, I love that change. I think it's a really, really solid idea.
Okay. I still don't see how it actually changes that much about Silver Age, but it could be just a decent timing thing where if you're going to make this change, you might as well make it as Silver Age comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look, I think we were also talking about how are they going to keep up this rate of reprints without super rares, right? In future formats. And I would say moving all Majestics to the exact same slot would allow them to do that.
Yeah.
It will allow for just more reprints.
Also, something logistically they could do, because I like the logistics of it, is if with every box, instead of a treasure pack, they just include a pack of all the tokens that you need for a draft in every box. And
to take it out of packs?
Yeah,
And it would be in each box?
Yeah, so then each pack has two slots for Majestics or whatever.
Just a 20 card pack with just nothing but mini tokens.
Yeah, dude. I think they could do it.
Yeah.
And it would drive the price way down for Majestics too.
Yeah. Ultimately, though, I wonder what that means, because I think we could see some really big changes coming, not just in design, right? Because this whole conversation, first thing we said was more interesting build around rares, like Malefics. Then the second thing we said was a change to pack structure. You know, this rare equipment slot being dedicated. And then I would even say more powerful Sip pieces. That'd be a pretty big change for Limited.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be a very big change for Limited. And then 3 is potentially even removing Majestics from draftable Limited altogether.
Yeah.
So that you are only playing commons and rares, which would then also make it so the super rare one time only, that was a real statement.
Right.
And to me, that all lines up very, very nicely. Also, what do you guys think PIN is?
Okay, so this is a Reddit comment I'm about to steal from. I also don't remember the name of this random Redditor.
Wow.
Yeah, but this person's on our Discord. We don't need to give a shit about them.
So, Dusk Till Dawn 3, it could be called Penumbra, which is, I think it's the part of an eclipse where the light touches the shadow. That's what a penumbra is.
I'm sad.
Joel, you were already sitting.
I'm
And
even more sad than I was previously.
get
Holy
this.
shit, his ass is so in that chair right now.
My back is to the rest or to the backrest.
Wait for it. The first 3 letters of the word penumbra are P-E-E pen.
Oh my god! That's crazy.
I also saw that Reddit comment. It's a much credit to that.
I'm a believer.
Yo.
How long have we been saying that like Dusk Till Dawn 3 or Monarch 3, whatever, is coming soon? Like,
I feel it in my bones.
Return of Chain.
Oh, well, we have Inset.
Yeah, but Chain's specialization card is the Eclipse.
oh yeah,
Oh. And then we get the Demonastery as a landmark. Oh,
new shadow card.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm thinking we're back.
Absolute cinema.
All right. Well, that's all I have for Yellow Pitch. I think I'm going to make like Shohei Ohtani and knock it into the next town over
Oh.
so that Fuzzy can tell us all about the new precons.
Yeah. So they announced that with the advent of this new format, they're going to launch it by producing not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 10. 10 pre-constructed Silver Age decks to be launched into the market.
What happened to 5 through 9? Jesus Christ.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of new decks.
They are being released in 2 waves, right? So there's like a wave 1 and a wave 2.
I think it's chapter.
Oh yeah, they're saying chapter, not
Which,
wave.
that's fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Fucking love books.
Books are good.
Books are great.
LSS is launching Silver Age with 10 pre-constructed
How many?
Silver Age decks. 10!
Whoa.
10 pre-constructed decks. You know when they release a set and there'll be like 4 Blitz decks?
Yeah.
Well, this is 10 pre-constructed
That's so
decks.
many.
They're even releasing them in 2 side-by-side products. There's Silver Age Chapter 1 and Silver Age Chapter 2. But they're both being released on the same day. So it's still just 10 pre-constructed decks on the same day. Chapter 1 has KO, like from Heavy Hitters, Armed and Dangerous. Dash, like the original from Arcane Rising. Icelander, Viserai, and Bravo, like the new Welcome deck Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 2
Bravo
has...
Flattering Showman.
Yeah, Bravo Flattering Showman.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. I pulled that out of my head. I remember that name.
Oh. This guy knows. He's a knower.
I'm a knower.
Chapter 2... I'm reading it.
Not fast enough.
I wanted to like see like... Because here it just says Bravo, and I just wanted to like triple check that it is Bravo. I like knew it was, but I also just had enough. I just want to triple check. Chapter 2 has Azalea, Phi, Dorinthia, like the one from Welcome to Wraith, Enigma, and Arachne, like the one from The
Whip of
Hunted.
Deceit.
Yes, Arachne Whip of Deceit.
There's only one Dorinthia Fuzzy.
There was the
far.
the dual deck.
Quicksilver Prodigy.
Oh, there is another young Dorinthia. You're right. My apologies.
Each set, one thing that makes these pre-constructed decks stand out from every other pre-constructed deck they've ever made for any format is it comes with a sideboard.
Let's
Wait,
go,
what?
dude? Yeah.
Each precon comes with 55 cards plus their hero and relevant tokens.
Pause. Wait, they're stealing your idea. They're putting AB.
Bro, that's what I've been saying.
They should hire you at LSS.
Maroon's gonna be so fucking cheap.
Yeah.
Like, it's just ready to launch into the format. It's great. And I think I've also heard that these are meant to be like, it says designed, this is straight from the website, designed for tournament play straight out of the box, which I assume means they're meant to be like meta viable. Like, these aren't just chump decks. Like, we've played with some bad blitz pre-constructed decks in the past, you know, but these are supposed to be things that I can actually like play at a tournament and lose
Now, is that what
less
they
than half of my
said
rounds.
about armory decks?
Yeah, the distinction here, Fuzzy, I really like when you said competitively viable because I think it means something different in Project Blue. I mean, Silver Age.
Oh,
We heard that.
do a shot.
Yeah, I'll take a rain check on the shot. Because they already made a sweeping list of bans in Silver Age so that they already know what the quote unquote best decks will be, and they can sort of gear these new products around the height of power in the set. And they can't really do the same for armory decks because you can include Majestics, but are you including CNC or Tunic or all the other broken cards that people have access to? If not, then you can't really call it, competitively viable. Maybe armory level, but not competitively viable.
Yeah, and Clark, you mentioned it a little bit a few seconds ago where they kind of made a similar claim about armory decks where you can show up to your local armory, buy an armory deck, and start playing. And I mean, technically you can do that, but not having a sideboard or having, the top Majestics for your class can really make it hard to compete at any level, especially with how Classic constructed is.
I will say one thing that's really nice about these Silver Age precons is that there doesn't need to be any Majestics.
Exactly.
And what that means is like they can probably feel so much more unfettered in what they include in these decks. Really just give them the leeway to print whatever they want in these because the cards are already dirt cheap. They don't need to be worried about collectors at all for this. And now I already think they are overly cautious about devaluing collections through reprints through the products, but sure. Like I'm happy with this. I'm happy that this product exists for the players who have been calling for it.
And I also want to show, it feels worth mentioning that they haven't announced there's going to be new cards printed in these precons, which I think we're all okay with. Like,
I mean, they've done it for every other precon that they've, apart from the Blitz decks, Armory decks, First Strike decks, like LSS has definitely had this idea of like these products don't sell without original card designs to make established players feel like they have to buy them.
Do you think they will have new card designs?
10 decks is a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot.
To move them off the shelves.
Yeah.
But it is really easy to get started. And, eventually the more players, it's really easy for a player who's never played Flesh and Blood to pick up one of these and play with their buddies. Maybe somebody who plays a lot of Classic Constructed buys a couple of these, one for themselves and one for their friend that they're trying to get into the game, and that's how product can move. But you're right that there's very little incentive for an established player to purchase one of these precons when they probably have a lot of the chaff or know that they can find it easily without dropping $20. There is a booster pack included in each one of these Silver Age decks.
I do want to say that with the price of the booster pack, which is about $4, which I think is $1 less than MSRP, that's about 30 cents per card on average, which I think is the cheapest any pre-constructed deck has been.
And new players just love opening packs, like way to get them addicted to the game right away. Like,
absolutely.
These are drugs, that they are selling to new players to get them addicted to Flesh and Blood. So I think we're big fans. If you were going to buy one of these decks to get a new player into the game, which hero do you think it would be?
Oh, that's a good question.
I feel like Dash would be pretty solid. Remember, Han would get everyone into the game by giving them
I don't think I
Dash?
could ever do that to somebody out of principle because of how many people Han did it to.
I think you're right that Mech would probably be the simplest one for them to pick up, but the fact that she doesn't have a CC route or even a Blitz route, right? That would be Silver Age only. And then they would need to convert the deck into A-IO list, which introduces a lot of new mechanics and quite possibly a new playstyle that they wouldn't want to play.
Yeah, that raises a new question. Hopefully there are lots of class common staples in these decks that can easily convert. Like, are we seeing
0 to 6
yeah,
throttle.
Exactly. Zipper hit.
Fucking zipper hit,
You mean 0 to 50 and gas guzzler?
I will fucking shoot you. I'm going to take you out behind the bar.
Oh no, he's going to bang me down. Pause.
For raising?
I would pick Bravo. I think Guardian has been a very easy thing to teach people in my circle. Just because dealing with the one action point is a lot simpler than dealing with 3 or 4.
And it's the new Bravo, the cooler Bravo.
It's a cooler Bravo, and you get the tap ability in there so that you can expose them to that mechanic early on. Yeah.
Expose them to tapping.
I also think that it's only a matter of time until they print like a CC version of that Bravo. And we've kind of been waiting for the Guardian Armory deck. Like, I know Jarl exists, but like...
And Pleiades.
Oh, Pleiades, never mind. No, Clark's just wrong.
I mean, there's no base Guardian armory deck.
It's true.
So
Jarl's pretty based though. So
oh, good pun.
So I think we've talked a lot about the Silver Age precons now. Do you guys want to talk about the Reinhardt armory deck?
Let's go! I'm beating my chest, baby!
I know we talked about a lot of Silver Age today, but that's the other thing that they really announced is what cards are going to be in this cool Reinhardt armory deck. And us Brood enjoyers,
oh my god,
I think we're pretty hype.
Bro, I was losing my shit at the PQ. This is what we were getting hyped about. Like, fuck. No, not fuck. Forget Silver Age. Forget all the other OP stuff and all the promos. The Reinhardt Armory deck, oh my god. Those cards look fantastic. I am so excited to get my hands on these new beat chest cards. Reinhardt is just looking fantastic. I think he could legitimately compete with the likes of KO, honestly, with the mechanics that he's been getting.
Yeah, we kind of talked about really hoping to see some more beat chest support in this armory deck. Mm-hmm. And we've seen 3 new cards added to the 4 new cards if you count the blue 6 that we saw a while ago. Mm-hmm. 4 new beat chest cards and a whole like equipment suite, which is also like beat chest support. I think Smell Fear is the most important one. If you haven't been keeping up with spoilers, that's the yellow or blue 0-cost non-attack action that blocks for 3. It has beat chest, which means you get to discard a 6 from your hand if you want to. If you've beaten chest, you intimidate, and your next Brood attack gets +3 or +2 if you have intimidated twice this turn. Which, if you're playing Reinhardt, Smell Fear is the only card you need to play in order to turn that on, because Reinhardt is going to intimidate, and Smell Fear is going to intimidate, assuming you discard that 6. That's a really awesome card. 2 intimidates, and then a +3 pump. Amazing.
This 0-cost non-attack is going to open up all the other beat chest. Well, I say all the other. Really, I'm talking about Rawhide Rumble. That's triple intimidate, if I'm reading it correctly.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because you Smell Fear.
I mean, Pack Hunt is also triple intimidate, but yeah.
Shut up. We're talking about beat chest. But yeah, you Smell Fear, beat chest, you intimidate twice with Reinhardt, and then your Rawhide Rumble gets +3 if you intimidated twice, and it's a 3rd intimidate. That's pretty gas.
And we saw some like this really cool majestic bear destruction. Mm-hmm. I like the sub theme where you want to get rid of your chest piece as fast as possible to turn on some of your cool cards. That's just like a fun mechanic that they threw in there.
It's giving like Barbarian from D&D,
Hell yeah.
which I fucking love, dude. I love playing Baldur's Gate as Barbarian. Anyways.
Yeah.
And I think this blue Smell Fear is one of the better slots in blue for Reinhardt right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he played a lot of like clunky ass blues. Mm-hmm. This one enabling 2 intimidates and a little pump. That's really good.
Mm-hmm. Have we seen the whole deck list yet?
Not the entire deck list, so we don't know all the reprints that are going to be in there.
I could see Sea Legs or Beast Within or both being reprinted here.
Well, Beast Within is in it. So what we have seen is the gameplay video, but that hasn't been released with a deck list yet.
I see.
But it was on stream, so we know that Beast Within is in there. I will say that while beat chest is very, very nice with full tempo, I think it still creates the problem of not getting enough value for, like, not enough numbers value for what you're doing. Mm-hmm. I would love to see a red Smell Fear, but they seem so terrified of giving us these red for 0.
Yeah.
These red 0 for +4 pumps.
I mean, a red 0 for 4 that also intimidates. Well, it's a 2-card intimidate twice.
It would double intimidate.
That would be pretty good.
Yeah, but it's a 2. Look, it's a 2-carder, and I just want to say, like, Red Flourish isn't there either. LSS, where the fuck are my red pumps?
Yeah, you're right. A 2-card 4 pump, even if it intimidates twice, probably isn't that broken.
Because here's the thing. That Rawhide Rumble line you just described to me, Joel, is a 4-card, 9 triple intimidate. That's not that scary, all things considered. When you put it like that... Mm-hmm. When you put it like that.
When you start adding numbers to it.
It did only cost 2 resources, right? That's something.
Yellow.
I mean, Show No Mercy with that same line is pretty insane.
Oh, yeah. Show No Mercy. Now we're talking gas.
Oh, man. But I can't wait to jam this armory deck.
That's 4-card 12, but like at least you're pushing more damage.
4-card 12, like unblockable.
Yeah.
That's great. 4-card 12, no blocks.
Yes. But that's kind of what I think Rhinar needs to be doing. I like that it's a tool. Again, still like to see some numbers. Bear Destruction is probably the most interesting card on here.
Oh my god, that card looks incredible.
I have been loving this philosophy of Brute being one of the best mid-range heroes, and then you have a combo turn. And then you're the best mid-range hero, and you have a combo turn.
Yeah.
When I was sold on Flesh and Blood as a fighting game, that is how I think of fighting games. Like, I'm doing my neutral, I'm doing my footsies, and then I land that jab, I land that hit confirm, and I'm like, oh, baby, there's a reason I spent 10 hours And in Flesh and Blood, that's like Blood Rush Bellow, constructing your deck the right way to make sure that everything works properly.
Yeah.
It's knowing what the lines look like. But if every single equipment piece could like activate a little mini combo in my brain, that is where I want Brute to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I noticed too about Bear Destruction that I'm harkening back to our value of a card episode. This probably gives some of the best value for our card that's discarded in Brute so far, because not only do you get Go Again, but you also give your next Brute attack +2, which is 3 value, sure, but you are activating also any synergies with Beat Chest. You're also activating synergies with Rhinar.
We needed an attack with Beat Chest that gives Go Again in order to be able to play more Beat Chest cards and really double down on that value.
Right. So I'm really excited about this card for sure.
Yeah. And it comes in at a great rate. It helps them go. It helps Beat Chest Rhinar specifically go wider. So we're not as tied to Blood Rush Bellows. We're not as tied to Wild Rides and Pulpings, right?
And like whoever made this card block 3, you deserve the world. I hope whoever is blessed enough to be in your presence just eats it from the back. I don't care.
I like. God damn. Shit.
I knew that would get you.
Start calling you Alan Moore. That is graphic.
That's crazy.
Okay. I was going to say what probably happened in the dev room was, they're testing it, and then someone, I'm not saying who, but one of the devs probably went, could this card block 2 or be a be a 0 block? And whoever is the Brute person on the team, I think Carol's the Brute person on the team. Carol turned and was like, you shut the fuck up. This card's going to block 3 and we're going to be happy about it.
He said, nope, it can block for 3. And then the conversation ended.
Yes, sir.
Which is apparently things that happen in the dev room all the time. They joked on stream about someone being like, if they're talking about the Silver Age ban list, and they're like, should we ban Ravenous Rabble? And apparently the whole room went, no. And no one said anything else about it.
That's efficient communication right there, buddy.
Yo, I think, Mr. Classic was like, ban Ravenous Rabble? And everyone was like, no. They all moved on with their lives.
He sat by himself for lunch that day.
But it was funny because then they were going through because they were doing a giveaway on like who can guess the new cards that got banned.
Oh,
And there were a lot of Ravenous Rabbles, and they're like, man, what kind of idiot would want Ravenous Rabble banned from Silver Age? They all just look at Mr. Classic, and he's like, no, leave me alone. I said it one time.
Oh my god, that's too funny.
So yeah, I think that's about all I have to say, guys.
Cool.
Really excited for these new pre-constructed products, which is funny because I'm a little bit of a hater on these like armory decks.
Not no more.
It's okay. I probably will be buying the precons, but they're pretty good for the game.
Yeah. Shall we?
I think it's time for our Arsenal Zone, which is the part of our podcast where we all shout out a card that we've been thinking about lately for whatever reason we want. And that includes one of our subscribers from our Patreon.
Yo, we have a Patreon? Since when?
Yeah, if you subscribe for at least $5 or up, you too can have your thoughts bared for the entire world to listen to.
In a good way.
Oh yeah, in a great way. Who do we have on the docket for today?
So for today's Patreon, we have a very new subscriber that goes by the name of, drumroll please, someone. Adorable!
Welcome to the gang.
Welcome to the gang. Thank you so much for submitting Bonds of Agony for the Patreon shout out today. And this card is a blue pitch, 0 cost, 3 block, 1 power assassin attack action at the majestic rarity with stealth. And it says,
Take a nice deep breath for this one, Joel.
yeah. If you played or activated 3 more attack reactions this chain link, this gets +3. And when this hits your hero, look at their hand and choose a card. Choose a hand, deck, and graveyard, and banish up to 3 cards with the same name as the chosen card, then shuffle. End quote.
Have you guys ever played against this card?
I heard at one point that it was legal in CC for some reason. Yeah.
I wonder why they banned it.
Well, what's the Normal have to say about it?
So they said, been thinking about Bonds of Agony a lot lately, with Assassins falling off in CC and the CYB ban keeping my queen new out of LL. It's a sad state for the class to be in. I just missed this card and the questions I would ask. My favorite part of Flesh and Blood are high-stakes mind games where you can never exactly compute math and it shifts tempo or advantage in either direction. I love this tension that extends beyond pure value of a card and is more nebulous in nature. A bit of a ramble, sorry. We actually really encourage rambling in our Arsenal Zone suggestions. Yeah. So if you've seen some of the dank memes that Clark posts in that channel, be sure to ramble as much as you want about your favorite card.
Yeah. Bonds of Agony. Yeah. We've talked a lot about this card, especially around the time that it got banned and leading up to when it got banned.
Yeah. Us?
I may have to recuse myself for this one because I really cannot stand this card. It's so powerful.
Can you give me a 5 words? I'm giving you a 5-word limit to talk about why this card bothers you.
Yes. It should have been Warrior.
That's the worst reason. So much.
I remember when this card was printed, and I still kind of think that it's important to have really strong on-hits in the game in order to fight against aggro decks, you know? Give decks a real reason to block, because aggro decks are all built around the idea that my game plan is stronger than you, even when you're hitting with your effects.
Right.
And this card doesn't let you do that.
Yeah, I mean, it made a lot of sense when Zen was 40-0ing people, and this was literally the only way you could deal with him. But against decks that to mid-range, you were just taking their 1 of power card, banishing it for the game, and now they can't kill you.
It shuts down a lot of heroes because it's a really strong on-hit effect, not just against aggro decks, but any deck, even ones that notoriously try to block, because of this random +3, and you have to do 3 attack reactions, which are all variable amounts of attacking. It can be really, really, really hard to block, even in the hands of against a good player, you know?
Yeah.
I think, again, it's that issue of a blue card doing too much. I think it is almost offensive to people's idea of Flesh and Blood, while at the exact same time being such a compelling reason as to why people love the card. When a blue card just does that much, people want to play it.
Yeah.
And when you're sitting across the table and a blue card does that much against you, it's infuriating.
Yeah.
A blue card really should be a card that's played at the perfect time in the perfect situation to really screw you over. Or that little bit of incremental value just to make sure that you're converting your hand. When it's really becoming this do everything card, I think it gets a little frustrating. And this card was a do everything card. I still think it needs to be replaced with a nice, strong blue on hit for Assassin. I think another Justinic target is needed in the Assassin class, but it's not Bonds.
Yeah. And I think it was you, Clark, who mentioned it, or maybe it was somebody else. I apologize if it was you and I didn't mention your name. But the cycle of pick to pieces being 1 attack reaction, Double Trouble being 2, and then Bonds of Agony being 3, I think that was a really neat cycle to have within the Assassin class. But I agree with you. It did way too much. And obviously, with the lack of Assassin, the meta has opened up a lot, which I like. But Man, that was a huge hit. So it kind of highlights two problems. Number one, that the Majestic suite of Assassin is really powerful and they need better glue pieces so that these bands don't feel as rough for them.
Yeah.
And no, that's pretty much the only reason. Or the only thing I was thinking about.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Honorable, for the shout. And make sure that you let us know your suggestions in our Patreon Discord channel, or just come to our Discord and tell us what you think. We might not shout it out on our show, but we like hearing about what's on people's minds when it comes to Flesh and Blood.
Absolutely.
Now, each of us are going to shout out a card that we've been thinking about lately, starting with Clark.
Whoa, for my card, I want to talk about Nullrune Hood. Because I did something really, really interesting for the AGE championship with my Arcane Barrier.
Oh, I guess you can't talk about it, huh?
Yeah, I ran my anti-wizard high AB and my AB1 in the same slot. Because ultimately, my other equipment pieces gave me more value. I think people can sometimes get so locked into this idea of like, well, I need AB3, that they actually never end up pitching a blue to the AB and they just lost all this value in their deck. Like, I think you should actually be running AB into wizards when Arcane Barrier is how you beat the wizards. And I think you should be running AB1 into the Rune Blades when Arcane Burying their Rune Chants is how you stop them, is how you win the game. If it isn't helping you win the game, don't do it. So what I did was I ran my Skullhorn and my Nullrune Hood in the same slot because for my KO AD deck, I felt like Savage Sash, my T-Rex gloves, and my Beaten Trackers or Scabskin Leathers were always going to do more for me in any given matchup facing Arcane than my headpiece was going to give me. So that was what I sacrificed to AB. And yes, that kept me from AB3, but I made the meta call that there wouldn't be a Kano. And there isn't a Kano. Decklist just came out literally right now.
Wow.
Oh.
No Kano.
Dang.
It's only Acilio. And into Acilio, I want Scowling Fleshbag anyway. No AB, baby.
Fantastic shout.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The card that I'm shouting today is Recharge. That's right. It's the 1 cost +4 pump on the next attack that you boost this turn. It's a Mechanologist non-attack action that blocks for 2. And when you cast it, you also put a steam counter on a hyperdriver that you control.
Yeah.
This is that like pretty good draft card from Bright Lights, everybody's favorite draft format. And it was a card that I really enjoyed playing in Commoner. I played a decent amount of Commoner. I was really enjoying that format when I got to play it, but I only ever played one deck, and it was Original Dash. And I just loved playing these like really efficient commons because Throttle, Zipper Hit, and 0 to 60 are all commons. And you can start the game with a hyperdriver. And when you get this recharge in there, you can keep the hyperdrivers around for a long time, constantly getting resources, attacking really efficiently, and swinging my gun. I really enjoyed the deck, even as fundamental and I would say like linear as it was. And I think I'll probably try to tune that deck into a Silver Age deck to try to get that same experience out of it. And I'm wondering if I would even still play like a Hyperdriver plan, because Hyperdriver, I would wonder if I'd still run a Hyperdriver plan because now there's these rare items that I might have access to. So it might be better to try to play something else. But
Recharge also very important for Max.
oh yeah,
Putting that extra counter on a hyperdriver is oftentimes the space that you need to get 2 hyperdrivers at the same count. So that you can actually resolve your Construct Nitro Mechanoid.
Well, that's majestic.
Yes. Recharge is playable in things other than Commoner and Silver Age.
That sounds like Cap.
I don't know if Max is playable in CC. I've never seen it done.
Whoa! Everyone, one peak.
That's what we quasi.
Running 3 copies of Recharge.
That makes sense. It's a very efficient hyperdriver support card, and that's one thing I really like about it. Just a nice role player.
Cool.
Oh, and I brought a copy to sign and give to each of you guys.
Woohoo!
Here you go.
Thank
you, Fuzzy.
Joel, what about you?
For my card, it's a bit of a feels bad this week. I picked Tear Limb from Limb, which is a blue 2-cost, no block, no attack, no nothing, brute action card that says, draw a card, then discard a random card. Your favorite line of text in every brute card. If a card with 6 or more power is discarded this way, the next brute attack action card you play this turn gets plus X power, where X is its base power, the base power of the card being played, not discarded. And the action has go again. And the reason why I'm shouting this out is because over the weekend I played in 2 PQs, and each PQ I played Tear Limb from Limb and discarded Blood Rush Bellow.
Oh,
Which single-handedly lost me the game in both instances.
Yeah.
So I've been having a really tough time making this card useful for me. I think also I'm just like playing it at the wrong times. Maybe I should be waiting for my Blood Rush Bellows to be seen or something, but like how do you do that in an aggro game or like mid-range game versus Gravy? So anyways, I was feeling really bad yesterday because it's like I've just been experiencing the bad parts of variants when you play, draw discard effects with KO. And you're not supposed to be doing that because you have like 100 blue 6s. So anyways, that's a card I wanted to shout out. And yeah, we're going to try again this weekend while Clark's in the finals against Luke Gilmore. So we'll see.
I really like this card in Rhinar because Rhinar has like very shaky blues. This one can sometimes give you like the same amount of value that Wild Ride would, giving you that draw discard, intimidate, pumping your next brute attack, maybe lining it up with one of your relevant on hits in brute. So you're actually like, dealing a lot of damage with an on hit, and it can be a lot of value when it's actually working for you.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a replacement to Cast Boned, which is a non-attack action card that reveals cards, and you get mites equal to the amount of 6 powers you reveal, and then you get an agility if you reveal 6 or more, or if you have 6 or more mites at the end of it. But it's a little bit too inconsistent. There's a lot of aura hate going around. So I really like Tear Limb for Limb for being that replacement, but god damn is that draw discard effect gnarly.
Not quite consistent either.
Yeah.
I think this card is also secret OP though, because it's a blue that could be 2 for 8.
Yeah.
Like there's just so many instances where this card just can give you so much value.
I think this card did get buffed with Super Slam because of the new resurgences of both 7 power and 8 power attacks.
Yeah.
And the new Rhinar Armory deck also giving all brutes access to new 7 power beat chest cards that they might want to be playing. So definitely be a card to be looking at.
Yeah.
Han texted me today to ask me if I had a copy that I might have been borrowing from him. So I owe him a copy of this card.
Well, I have 6 more because I love opening Monarch.
Alrighty.
But that's pretty much the podcast.
That's the podcast.
That's the podcast.
If you liked hearing us talk about cards, be sure to join our Patreon because this is the section of the podcast where we do it. We don't have any spoilers going on right now, but be sure to join our Discord because if they reveal it at Worlds, you want to be in the only Discord that gets spoilers. So
the Discord is also like, there's been a lot of really solid conversation happening in the Discord. I will admit that sometimes we just rehash why Warrior bad, why Guardian bad, game costs too much.
not always because I started. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, it's not Joel. It's not Joel. It's Trent. Said with love.
Said with love.
But I think there's been a lot of good conversation this past week talking about Silver Age and the different builds that we could be doing. I had a little bit of free time this weekend for the first time in a long time, and I worked on a little data project that I fell in love with. There was a lot of cool things happening.
Yeah.
So the Discord's a nice place to be. And even if you don't want to join the Discord, even if you don't want to join the Patreon, could you like and subscribe?
So with that, everyone, have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Oh.
Bye. Pitch It To Me podcast is hosted by Fuzzy Delp, Clark Moore, and Joel Recinos. Our executive producer is Talon Stradley. Logistics coordinator, John Farkas. Music by Dillon Hulse. Logo by Han V. And sound mixing by Christopher Moore. Last but not least, we'd like to thank you, the listener. Thank you for tuning in. Please give us a follow on your favorite social media platform at Pitch It To Me Podcast.